This next position is going to look at advancing forward from a somewhat squat or sitting back position towards a forward straightening of the knee. It also replicates a little bit of when you get ready to jump. As I come forward, my hips have to advance over my feet to lift up off my toes. So I'll show it on the floor, which will be harder, and at a higher surface like a table, which is a little bit easier. So I have people come down to about table height or at the edge of your bed, and you want your feet in a position that they're close enough that you have room to stick your butt out, and you see I kind of sit back onto my heels. Even there for me is a little bit too much tension in my hamstring. I would come maybe a little bit further forward. So that as my butt goes back, I can bend my knees a little bit and sit onto my heels. Okay. And now from here, the big thing I want to make sure of is the positioning of my back. So as I advance forward, my back may want to cave like this, which I don't want. So I want to think about keeping a little bit of a tension pushing outward in my stomach, which you can see flattens my lower back. So I'm going to keep that little bit of lower back flat position or tension in my stomach as I start to advance my femur or my thigh over my knee. And then as I do that, I'll then raise up onto my toes. And then I'll come back, my heels will hit the floor. As my hips go back, I'll start to sit back onto my heels. From here, that same lower abdominal tension as I come forward. Also with my hands, it's worth noting I'm not caving in like this. I'm pressing a little bit downward into my hands to lift my chest up as I then progress forward over my toes. Similar on the floor, I would do the same thing in this bear position. So I'll come up into bear, right? And I'll go into a little bit of a higher bear. So I start off kind of taking my butt back over my heels. And it's okay if my ankles or my calves don't let me take my heels to the ground. And then same thing here, I'll start advancing my butt forward and raising up onto my toes. I'll sit back towards my heels. As I run out of calf flexibility, I'll start to sit my butt back, pushing my hips backwards, feeling tension a little bit in my calf, but I let my knees bend some so there's not a strong stretch in my hamstring. And then same idea, my hips advance forward over my knees as more weight goes onto my hands. You'll notice that I try and keep my chin tucked down. I try and keep my elbows a little bit pressed in with my fingers spread apart. Rocking slowly back and forth.